Hey, my friends, Marge here. This has been quite a week, let me tell you. We are in the process. Now, you know that I have been podcasting and blogging about the transition of our home. So we're getting ready to eventually, not very soon, but to eventually sell. So that means fixing up and replacing, and there were things that we should have done on the house many years ago, but we just put up with it. Well, now it's the time. So things around the house are kind of topsy-turvy, which if you've ever gone through this, it can be really unsettling. And on top of that, in addition to the home renovations and having that all topsy-turvy, we have made the decision to switch. First of all, I had to switch all of my equipment, except for a couple of smaller devices, but it was time for a completely new system. That was a huge deal for me to try to figure out which system, and then to get it everything installed, and then figure out how to do it. It's you'd think a computer is a computer, but that's not the case. Every computer is just a little different, looks different, operates differently. So there has been some self-education and lots of watching YouTube videos to learn how to do things, installing, uninstalling, and settings and so forth. All right, that's the other thing that has flipped my world around. And then finally, we made the decision to change our internet providers, which we expect it's going to be a really good thing. But it also meant 5 different email accounts would need to be switched because they were tied to the old internet provider. So, and when we switch, which will happen actually tomorrow, so please pray for us. Technically speaking, the work crew comes and we switch over and have the new system installed. Um, but 5 different email accounts, which will become defunct once we do that switch. So that meant going in, cleaning out, rooting out, creating new email accounts in a different format so that they would not be tied to the internet provider. It has really been something. Let me tell you, we have been, both hero husband and I, working pretty much almost night and day, going through years and years. We had that old account 15 years, maybe more. And that's a lot of emails, and that's a lot of files to go through. So sorting through files and picking through them, and now getting used to doing all our emails a different way. We'll have to get used to doing our internet a different way. So why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because in the process of all of this, the fixing of the house, the switching of the equipment, and especially this whole email thing, it's been an unexpected journey down memory lane because we're taking apart areas of the house that were that way since the kids were little, and finding, let's just say, remnants of their having lived here. If you're a parent and you've had kids move out of the house, you know that there's always something left behind, even though they thought they had everything when they moved out. And then also, and I think primarily this whole email account thing has been startling for me. So there was a whole folder of emails that my siblings and I had exchanged leading up to the time of my mother's death, and then through her memorial service and the healing thereafter. And of course, I wanted to go through each one and make sure I kept the ones that were most important. That was astounding to go back to that time, 6 years ago now, to go back to that time and remember the pain, the fears, that I had. If you've read my book, Forgiving Mother, if you haven't, I encourage you. It tells my whole story of working through the devastation of having been raised by a mother who was deeply, deeply psychologically and emotionally troubled, and working through all that. But that resurrected, going through the emails, resurrected all of that. And then the elation, and I don't want to do spoiler alert, you have to read the book, but the elation of her finally having turned back to God in the end, and the healing between my siblings and I, and that very miraculous time, and all of the ups and downs in between. I relived that whole couple of years in going through those emails, and it gave me time, and it I would say it kind of forced me into some introspection that I didn't expect, and it was a good thing. I probably would not have anticipated. In fact, I know I didn't. I didn't anticipate that, but I'm so grateful to God for that. And I'm urging you in this message to, you know, you don't just switch your internet provider or your emails, but allow yourself to revisit some of the times in your life that were maybe not so pleasant, maybe heart wrenching for you, and give thanks for them and for how you've grown through them. You will be very surprised. And if you've got some old email folders about that have to do with those times in your life, go through them. Or if you've got a journal or whatever kind of memories you have from those times, go back to it. But do it in the grace of God. Do it holding the hand of our Blessed Mother. You will be so amazed at how you will grow and how grateful you'll be once you finish that process. I wish you all the best, and I will see you next week. God bless you. May our Mother Mary protect you.